And he's a man we need in Washington to go down and take those people by their ears, get their attention, and let them know that they need to know what Maine is and what people need, and Ethan Strimling's the one to do that.
That's great. Where is Mary? Come on, Mary. You need to come up here. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're doing wearing a coat in this place. Way too early for that. For those of you who don't know, this is my lovely wife, Mary. This has been touring around all day, and I want to say thank you first to both Betsy and Bill. Those comments were beautiful, and I really do appreciate it, and I will do all I can to live up to them, so thank you. Well, this has been so much fun. I think I ought to just keep exploring for a little while longer. What do you think? There's no need to jump in. What's the Press Herald going to write about if I get in this way? But you know what, in all seriousness, I have taken a lot of heat over this issue about taking my time to make this decision. And you know what, I have to tell you, I'm really glad that I did take the time. Because the time that I've taken has given me a chance to go all over the 1st District, indeed all over Maine. And I've been in kitchens in Bodenham, and I've been in backyards in York, and I've been on soccer fields and Limerick and farms in Leamington and all over, and just getting a chance to meet people in back porches in Rockland, and getting an opportunity to hear what people are thinking about, what their hopes and what their dreams are, what their fears, and just learn about their lives. And that's a gift. That's something you don't get to do very often in life unless you're really trying to take the time to learn. Just this morning I went to a social service agency down in Sanford where they're dealing with survivors of domestic violence. Went into the oldest hardware store. Went into a new development in Biddeford where they've rehabbed the mill and all these new businesses are coming in. Went to the Gulf of Maine Research Institute. We went from some of the oldest stores to some of the newest innovations. And this process of going around and hearing from folks and listening to what's going on and what's next has been vital. And it reminded me of what an incredible state we live in. And how much I love being here, and how I would never want to be anywhere else. This is the place. But what I also heard, and some of what Bill was talking about, is that there are a lot of struggles out there. When you go and sit in somebody's living room, I was in Shapley, and I was listening to a family down there, and I was listening to somebody who had retired, who told me that he had to go back to work in order to afford retirement. That tears you apart. I was down in Kennebunk and I was talking to a family, professionals. Both of them have got to have full-time jobs in order to just pay the student loans that they got coming out of college. Talking to people every day whose wages have been flatlined or are declining, who are struggling just to figure out, how do I put a little money in the bank so I can take a vacation every once in a while? How do I pay these health care premiums? How do I meet my mortgage premiums? All of these struggles, just folks trying to figure out how to make ends meet. But you know what I heard more than anything else? I heard people saying to me, we're not being listened to. Our lives are hard and nobody is listening in Washington. We have an administration right now, billions of dollars wasted on this foreign policy disaster while people can't meet their health care premiums. An administration who has cut taxes, if you can believe this, they have cut taxes 6 times for the wealthiest Americans, and yet in Maine, the poverty rate for our children has risen 60%. 6 tax cuts for the wealthy Americans, poverty risen 60% for children. That's an administration that's out of touch. We have an administration that cares more about hedge fund managers making millions of dollars than they do about these wages that are flatlining, these wages that are declining for everyday Maine families. It's an administration that's out of touch, that seems completely addicted to this costly foreign oil at the expense of all of our foreign policy and all of our reputation overseas. And that's an administration that's out of touch, and it's an administration that's not listening. I can guarantee you if George Bush just spent 1 week going around the 1st District of Maine, if he had any ability to listen, he would have changed direction on more policies than we could imagine. Because sitting in people's living rooms, taking the time to hear what they have to say, will change you. And that listening and that reacting is what we need. And so, today, proudly, because of all of you, and because of all the people out there that I have been listening to, and all the people who told me their stories of their struggles, and how hard it is to make ends meet and get their kids into college and pay their health care premiums, because of all of them and all of you, I am proudly announcing that I am a candidate for the United States. Hot in here, so let's wrap this up and get outside. Look, there's a lot of work to do. You know me, you understand why I'm making this decision. We know each other, but there's a lot of people out there who don't know yet what this is going to be all about, and I'm going to be going all over the district to talk to folks, to let them know, you know, I'm just an everyday person. I'm just the same person as pretty much everybody here. I want good schools. I want clean water. I want clean air. I want to be able to make sure that my family can meet its needs and it doesn't have to worry about rising health care costs. I didn't come from money. I didn't marry money. I married for heart. I'm not a lawyer. You know, I run a social service agency. I work with at-risk kids who are struggling to figure out how to make ends meet too, and who are trying to stay out of jail. And I've seen some real tragedies with these kids, and I've seen some real miracles. But all of it has given me the strength to recognize that what we need to be doing in politics is figuring out how to make people's lives easier. And this administration is just ignoring us. And this economy is killing us. And so I would ask you, I'm going to need your help. I'm going to ask you to join. We got a bus upstairs. And that's a literal bus and it's a figurative bus. There are a lot of people on the bus today, but even if you can't fit on that bus, I'm asking you to join the bus. Because let me ask you a question. Is it time to end this war? Yes! Is it time to close the gap between the rich and the poor that's been so wide in the last 6 years? Is it time to end our dependence on costly foreign oil? Well, if you think it's time to do all those things, then folks, it's time to get on the bus because we got some work to do.